want to lose that freedom, but it's also like, yeah, you may have some freedom, but at the same time, there are other things that you're investing your time in that you could be investing in something else.
Right. Right. Absolutely. You could be going on to bigger and better.
Exactly. How
Um,
old were you when you made that switch?
let's see. I was about 35 years old.
35.
Yeah, I started the company. I started the company at 31. I did it part-time for about 4 years. And I resigned from the police department in October of 1999. And I was just shy of 15 years there. So,
That's crazy.
but
That's
yeah, so I mean, it's not like I didn't have a lot invested in it.
yeah.
So, but again, it was just the opportunity was there.
Right.
Don't waste a lot of time over analyzing it. Just go. You know what? I'm sure if it hadn't worked out, I could have gotten my job back at,
Mhm.
if not at that department, at another one. But, you know, um, I used to joke around and say I never went back to an old girlfriend or an old employer. So when I'm done, I'm done.
How long were you juggling both things? The
About 4 years.
4 years.
Yeah.
Wow, so those 4 years, you didn't have a lot of time on your hands then. It's police work.
Yeah, I mean, it started out, it started out gradual, but it was, I was working full time at both jobs at the end.
So
So, but the good thing is it gave me a great ramp. So, um, I was able to, because of doing shift work in the police department and that I could work nights there and work days doing the computer, it gave me an opportunity that a lot of entrepreneurs don't get, where I was able to ramp up and get the revenue up to a point where I knew it was going to be, it was already more than what I was making on the other jobs. So I didn't have that time where I was giving up salary and in hopes of getting the revenue up. If you look, over the years, the revenue that we had, the income that we had was always going up. We didn't have to take a dip while I figured out how to make the business work. I was able to do that in the part-time area. I learned enough about the business process where the business was running. It was healthy. It was a healthy business when I made the cut. So that was a luxury that a lot of people don't have that I did have.
is that what you recommend people do if they want to start their own business, to try to do it as a side gig first? And the reason that I ask is that, you read online and you really have some entrepreneurs that say you should start something on the side, make sure that it's something stable, something that you can do, and then make that leap. And there are others that say it's not going to work unless you go 100% in.
Oh, no,
Have
no, that's
something.
crazy. I mean, I've seen so many people jump into things that they really don't understand. It seems like a good idea, but they don't really understand the nuances of it, and it fails, and then they wind up in trouble. And I mean, especially if you have a family, um, anytime you can try it as a side gig and test the waters. I mean, even in business, when I make changes to my business now, we do what we refer to as tests. We have an idea. We develop what's called a minimum viable product, or MVP. So what's the thing that I can develop here with the least amount of investment of money, least amount of investment of time, but still come up with a product that somebody is willing to buy. So you come up with that minimum viable product, and then you put it out in the market and you test it. And you go, people like that. All right, let's put some more money into it. Let's develop it further. Companies do this all the time. A company is not going to take something from an idea and immediately put millions of dollars worth of production effort into it to find out that it failed. I mean, some have, and that's why they've gone out of business. But smart companies you're always testing your markets. You do just enough where you can get a product to market, to see, does it really work? Does the idea make sense in the marketplace? Are people willing to trade their dollars for what your idea is? So that's all you're doing. You're doing the same thing that companies do every single day by doing it as a side gig first. You're developing a minimum viable product and you're testing the market. Once the market says, yes, we find this valuable and we will continue to give you our money for your idea, then you can say, great, now I'll kick the government job with the guaranteed pension because the market has told me that it wants what I have to offer. So yeah, you should absolutely do it as a side gig. I mean, why would you give up, your income and your ability to pay your bills if you don't have to? I mean, sometimes you have to. Sometimes you do have to make that cut. You have to make a choice. But there are very few things in the entrepreneurial world that you have to do that with. Almost anything in the entrepreneurial world you can test.
Mm.
And I strongly recommend that. And like you say, even once I had a business, we were always testing out new ideas, new markets, new strategies. And I do that now to this day.
We spoke about fear a little bit, and I think that's a great answer to people that say, oh, I'm too afraid to try something. It's like, you don't have to quit your job. You don't have to stop doing what you're doing now to do that thing. You can do it on the side, test it in, and like you said, if there's a demand for it, people will pay you. And eventually, if you're good enough, right? Like if you're good enough and your product is good enough, then it'll be evident, right? But the revenue coming in.